Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Flash, and thank you for joining me for another Marvel Snap video. So, today's video, we are going to be covering the Mr. Negative deck that YoWoody has brought back from obscurity and had piloted to, I think he was number 2, right, on the ranked leaderboard or something like that the other day. So, we are going to cover that deck, but before we do that, some fun housekeeping. Right, aside from the usual stuff, right, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff, right, helps us go a long way. But a couple of things. First things first, we just crossed the 300 subscriber mark, so that's amazing, and just a small milestone, right? Thank you guys for that. Very much appreciate that, and we're just going to keep the train moving. Things are picking up, right? They're picking up speed, and things are moving fast. But so thank you guys for that. But in conjunction with that, in like a little partnership here with a good friend, the homie friend of the channel, Aaron Glazer, Snap Judgment. You guys know him. You watch the videos, right? The daily videos. You get all the decks, right? Daily that are ahead of, you know, the meta, ahead of everybody else playing them. They just crossed over 10,000 subscribers, which is absolutely incredible. And Aaron's going to be sending some folks over here for a gold pass giveaway. So, to qualify for that on my channel, you have to be subscribed to this channel, okay? You have to follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, and leave a comment in this video, just how you got here, right? And what's your favorite, like, archetype in the game, just all time, right? All of those things qualified. We will be doing a giveaway for that on my channel, probably on my Twitch stream, my next Twitch stream. I'm gonna do a fun spinny wheel thing, right? But again, comment on this video, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and you have to be also following on Twitch and on Twitter. Check off all those boxes. I'll do all the logistical, you know, stuff, and that's how you can get entered to for the gold pass. But so all of that being said, all the fun housekeeping stuff is now out of the way. Let us get into covering this YoWoody Mr. Negative deck. Let's check it out. Okay, so here's the deck, and I will do my best to go about these play lines as best that I can. You know, YoWoody explained this stuff very well, and did watch that video when he was explaining it. And if you aren't accustomed to playing negative decks, they can be quirky to play. It's not the usual play style of a lot of the different decks in the game, but come along with me on this ride here, and we'll get this all situated. So, ideally, what you want to be doing with Mr. Negative, let's just get straight to the namesake card, right? Swap the power and cost of all the cards in your deck. Those of us who have been playing for a while, we know what this card does, right? And how strong the effect is when you get it to hit a lot of those big cards that then flip to like almost zero to no cost, 0, 1 cost, 0 cost, 3 cost. He does a lot of strong things, right? So, but he's got to be paired with the right set of cards. Now, this deck, you have Psylocke to give you that extra energy to either get a Mr. Negative out early or a Wong out early. And also, here's another thing to keep in mind with Psylocke, and it's a very important play line here. If you play Mr. Negative and you have Jane still sitting in the deck, she's going to go to 6 cost. Okay, so let's say you play Mr. Negative, then you get a 6 cost Jane into your hand. You don't want to play Jane on turn 6, right? Psylocke. You play Psylocke on turn 4. You can then play Jane on turn 5 still and get those 0 cost cards into your hand. That's the main kind of bailout that Psylocke offers you. Otherwise, you're playing Ravonna on turn 2, right? Because she's going to make Mr. Negative cost 3 and play Mr. Negative on 3. Getting Ravonna down on 2 with Mr. Negative in hand is your main snap condition 9 times out of 10, right? Period. Ironheart is in here because she goes in all these decks. Ironheart is like, as YoWoody explained it very well, the 12th card in the deck, right? She's like plan C, but I've played games where she still wins you games when you play her on a long lane. That's pretty damn good for a plan C. Ironheart can just be good. Mystique pairs well with copying Wong. Naturally, you want to copy Wong or Iron Man or Null. As a complete last resort, you're copying Ravonna, but you really don't want to do that. If you're copying Ravonna, you're kind of limping through at that point. And again, Mr. Negative, we know what he does here. Wong. Do I need to go over what Wong does? We know what Wong does, and we know why he's strong, and we know what you want to be hitting with Wong, right? The main thing you want to be hitting with Wong is the Black Panther, right? He's in here for the Black Panther Zola playline, which is still very strong if your opponent can't. If you're playing against Hela and you have this line, you beat that deck pretty much every time, because that deck is playing solitaire. It's not interacting with you, and you get to just go nuts. That deck, because it can't beat 100 and some odd. If you get the nut, which is Black Panther into, you know, on a long lane into Zola, and you get the Wong to go first, and then Panther, you just win. You just win. You can't be beat. And Zola's here for that specifically. Zola can sometimes hit a null if you want to hit a flipped null. A 0/6 null is very good to hit. A 0/6 null is also good to copy with Mystique. There's a lot of good play lines here with that. Iron Man, because a 0/5 Iron Man is busted. It's just busted. And the secret spice here is Shang-Chi, because nobody's expecting Shang-Chi here, and he bails you out if you need to, right? Shang-Chi and what I spoke about before, you remember plan C with Ironheart? That includes Shang. If you Shang, because now remember, you might have a 0/3 Ironheart to play in a long lane. So you can play Ironheart with Shang on turn 6 and just flip an entire game just like that. It's amazing, and it is very doable. These are the cards. That's again, the play line goes like you want to go Ravonna on 2 generally all the time. You go Ravonna on 2, you're trying to hit Mr. Negative on 3. That's what you want to be doing. The secondary game plan is to get Wong down. If you have to get him down on 4, so be it, because you want to go Wong, Panther, Zola, and just hope for the best. Depending on what you're playing against, you have to be careful. That's neither here nor there. A secondary bailout is to play Mystique. Mystique is to play Psylocke. Let's say you don't have Ravonna in sight. You put Psylocke down on turn 2, you can still get Mr. Negative out on 3. Same thing with Wong. If you don't have Mr. Negative, get the Wong down, because that's your next best game plan. And then you just let the rest of the sequences play out. Period. Right? You could be copying a 0/5 Iron Man with Mystique. You're going nuts. You're just going over the top of a lot of things. So hopefully that makes sense, but we are going to be playing some games. So let's see how the deck operates, and we'll go through, you know, play line by play line. Hopefully we can get some good things to happen, some fun stuff. Let's get into the games. Okay, y'all. So first matchup here against Willick's son. Whatever. Okay, so opening hand. Well, we got a Corvus Glaive out of Camp Lehigh. That doesn't do us any favors. Our opening hand is terrible. Null, Mystique, Thor, Lady Jane. That doesn't do us any good. Zola off the top also doesn't help. We have the end lines here, but we already have 2 cards that we want. 3 cards, in fact, that want to be hit by Mr. Negative that are just here, doing us no good. Also keep in mind, much like how Hela operates, this is a cube equity deck, right? This is where you're gonna be winning a lot of cubes, but don't expect your win rate to be very high. You're going to be retreating a lot. You know, if you play it out well, you might be hitting the things that you want. From a win rate perspective, you might be coming in around. Geez, I can't really do much here. I'll just play the Psylocke. You're gonna be around the 50% win range, right? Give or take. You're not gonna be winning like 69% of your games with this deck, right? But your cube rate is going to be high because you're going to be retreating when you don't have the things that you need to win games, just period. Like right now, this has been a terrible right? This has been a terrible sequence. However, if we can get Black Panther here, I probably shouldn't have played Wong in that lane, but I didn't have a choice because Asteroid M was going to pull him there anyway. Yeah, this is still just terrible. I still have nothing that I can be doing here. I guess we can play Mystique and Ravonna. I don't. This is just bad. This is what I'm talking about. You get stuck with these funky play lines. There's an Abomination. I'm just praying. I'm just hoping for the best at this point. And this is one of those things where when your opponent snaps, you should leave right away, promptly. But you play it out until that point happens. I'm not gonna move anything because I'm anticipating that my opponent is gonna move something. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put Corvus down because power, just straight up, and then I'm just gonna play Ironheart and hope she hits enough cards to win. I mean, I don't know. It's probably still just lose. I probably should have played Corvus in the middle lane. Oh, okay. Well, Asteroid M helps with that. I mean, I don't know. Does this win? Well, plan C. Plan C. See, that's how strong this deck is. Plan C just wins sometimes when you have absolutely nothing happening. That's incredible. All right, let's get to the next game. Wow. All right, so that first game was entertaining. Next up, we got Sir Dr. Titan. He's got the Mr. Negative flip there. He spent money on this bundle that this avatar came with. It was pretty expensive bundle, I remember. Okay, so we've got Ravonna, right? Which is great. No Mr. Negative, and there's Mr. Okay. Now, if this is your line, this is your opening hand, you are immediately snapping right here. Okay, now keep in mind. Okay, now in YoWoody's recommendation, there's only most things that your opponent plays on turn 2, like when you have a hand like this, you're snapping into. But there was one play line on the other side of the board that if they play that, you're being cautious, which is the lockdown style of deck, right? If you see their first few cards are like those lockdown style cards, you need to be careful immediately. And be a little weary. You're not immediately snapping, but anything else, if you see Angela, you're snapping. Most things you're snapping. And we're gonna play Mr. Negative into. We're not gonna snap, okay? Normally you would, but our opponent still might retreat here. We'll see, or they might be playing the same deck. But I have the advantage because I got Mr. Negative down. They did not. Yeah, we're just gonna Wong. Avengers Compound sucks. for so many reasons. For so many reasons. All the reasons, in fact. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Stay with me. Stay with me on this. I'm gonna Wong into Mystique over here. I'm not sure if that's the right play, but we will at least get those cards back, so it's something, right? Okay, so I wonder if that Mystique that we get is actually gonna be a Wong. No, it's gonna be a Mystique. Right? Like, she did come back as her regular color there. So you see we got Jane here. Okay, so now we can Wong. The only problem is, well, several problems. Let's Wong Mystique again. They retreated. Okay. I guess just the fact that we had more equity on the board kind of scared them off. It is what it is. What my plan was, here's what my thought process was. Well, I was going to put down Wong Mystique again. And then hopefully off the top, I could have got something good. Maybe Zola would have been a 0-6, Null would have been a 0-6, which would have given me the opportunity to do something like Ironheart into one of the Wong lanes with Iron Man in the other one, right? And everything was just going to get really, really big. And that probably would have been enough to win. Especially if we would have pulled like a big Null or big Zola. I would have maybe played one of those things and then tried to Zola something. You know, maybe Zola the Ironheart. Who knows, right? We could have got something to happen there depending on what we pulled off the top. That was my thought line with that. So let's get into the next game. Okay. Going up against Colden with the Loki avatar. Okay, so Sinister London is already good. Don't play Mr. Negative into Sinister London. It will flip everything twice, and that's terrible for you. Negative, Iron Man, Lady Jane, not bad. We need some activators here. We need Psylocke, we need, we need Ravonna, we need stuff. Oh my goodness, Onslaught Citadel is fantastic. It's also very good for them. Yeah, but they have his Quinjet in there. It's already giving me shaky vibes because he's gonna be able to play a bunch of my stuff for nothing if he gets, Loki going. All right, I'm gonna play the Psylocke into Sinister London. Because I might pivot here and play Iron Man into Onslaught Citadel. If we get Wong, the game is like almost over. No, we're gonna put Iron Man down. Okay, I want to put Iron Man to Sinister London, but I don't want to like. Okay, if there was no Sinister London, we'd just put Iron Man down. Also, so hope for the best. But having two Iron Mans, even if we don't get, the Onslaught Citadel, is still just very good, especially because we got Black Panther, we got Zola. We got a lot of things that are pretty good right now. So much so that I would almost feel comfortable snapping here. Okay, he didn't go middle, no big deal. Almost, right? Because I can play the Black Panther and I can just Zola. If Zola hits Psylocke, not great, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And Panther can't be shonged currently, right? And we didn't hit Wong. It was too awkward at that point to play Mr. Negative, in my opinion. My game plan shift. Yes, I could have got a 0-6 Null. I understand that, but like, this is okay. Now this Iron Man's in danger. I mean, this Black Panther's in danger, but Honestly, we have a couple of options. Being Zola this, or Zola over here. Now here's the problem. He played Loki, which means he could have pulled Arshang. Which I feel like if he did, he probably would have snapped at this point, but Ironheart's a play, also a little risky. I think we just go for the whatever the best, like most power is at this point. Which I'm not sure what that is now. Decisions. How about we just do this and hope for the best? we just embrace the chaos. Whatever that looks like. Because we are going to get another Zola to go somewhere, and he hit Psylocke, which doesn't really do us any good, but we have to assume he hit Arshang, because he was just way too comfortable. Ah, Panther. Okay, well, is this Panther gonna get? Yeah, it's gonna get huge. See, and that's why Loki's still just so good, because you get to do this, right? Which is absurd. Yeah, we just didn't get the lines that we needed, but Loki's just still busted, so like, what are you gonna do? You can't do anything about that. All right, let's get to the next one. All right, probably the last one here, but that last game was a perfect example of if the opponent had snapped, we retreat, because I just didn't feel comfortable or confident in what the end line plays were, because we just didn't get what we needed. This is not great, and that's not going to make it any better. These mill decks, that's another thing for you to watch out for. You can't play cards. What are you going to do? If I play the Psylocke now, because we've lost Ravonna, if I play the Psylocke now, it's just me hoping that I get Wong or Mr. Negative off the top. Or our opponent can help us with that and play Maximus. Okay. To me, I don't know, he might be trying to mill our hand out, but we'll see. Because here, okay. All right. So the only thing that Mr. Negative flips, that's why it's great to have a deck tracker, is Zola and Ironheart. He's gonna flip Lady Jane, but the most beneficial things we have left are Ironheart and Zola. This is a game where I'm looking to say, you know what? I should probably go for the Wong Panther line here. Because we have the Wong, we have the Panther. There's a decent chance we get Zola off the top. At some point, it's turn 3, right? So this mill stuff is tentatively backfiring. Although, you know what? I'm still going to play Mr. Negative. I'm still going to play the negative because, yeah, that's going to pull Ironheart. I'm still going to play the negative because I can get Wong out and I'm definitely going to get the Zola. So, yeah, we're definitely going Wong. For me, this is almost still a snap condition currently, because unless they have a way to stop this from happening, we didn't. And if we had a flipped Mystique, we could have. We don't need a flipped Mystique. Here's what because guess what we can do turn 6, because we have a 0/6 Zola, we can play Panther and Zola and just go to town. Yeah, like, now one would argue, oh crap. Okay, that's not good. That's not good at all. Yeah, that Doc Ock crap. I mean, Iron Man is good right there. for sure. The Mr. Negative being there with him doesn't help. So he just plays his Red Hulk probably in the middle. We can Shang it, but we can't do much else is the problem. Or we can Shang this, and then we don't have a good finish here. You could just Panther here, but what is my opponent going to do? Just play that huge Red Hulk? Okay, just for the sake of sake, let's split the difference on if he plays the Red Hulk middle, we get it. And then this should be enough power to win the right lane. Because my assumption is don't fight me for the Iron Man lane, is how my opponent would think. This could go either way. If I guess wrong, I guess wrong, because that's all it's going to come down to. I think it looks like we guessed right. GG's. Hey, it's 50-50. It could go either way. He could have played, you know, so we limped through that game against a deck that's hard countering with the mill. Like, he tried to just, and he did a good job. The Doc Ock was crippling, and yet we still managed through good piloting, through very savvy piloting, to get out of there with a win. So that's the deck. It's very strong, right? So you should play this. Play this deck. All right, everybody. So we went through some games there. Saw how the deck operates. You saw me pilot it through good draws, through bad draws. We limped through a game there that just wasn't going our way, but we still managed to pull out a win just by making good decisions, and having kind of good that soul read, right? But very good deck. Again, Mr. Negative can be a little quirky to pilot, but you can get through it, and it is strong. Make sure you are retreating when you need to and snapping when you need to. This deck is not about wins and losses. It's about cubes, right? And that's what's important. You can actually roll a 40% win rate, but your cube rate can still be high enough for you to climb, right? It's about those cubes. Cube equity, cube preservation. That's it. That's it. That's the deck. And again, want to get in on that gold pass? Make sure you're subscribed here. Make sure you're following on Twitch. Make sure you're following on Twitter. All those things, those handles will be down here in the description. Make sure you're doing all those things, right? Comment on this video. Very important. All these little small details. Just check off all these boxes and you're good to go, right? Stop by my next Twitch stream. So again, if you're following me on Twitch, you'll know when I go live next, and that's when I'm going to do the giveaway. So that's it. So thank you guys for joining me here for another video. I very much appreciate you guys. And again, we crossed those 300 subscribers. I'm sorry. I was a little long-winded in this one, but there was a lot of stuff to get through. It is what it is. It happens. But that's it. I will catch you guys next time. I'm Flash. Peace.